A very sombre scene, but magnificent animation there, and that dates back to 1942. I remember in the early 60s watching the exact same film in the Capitol Cinema on the Antrim Road in Belfast, and that scene had an impact which stayed with me for life about how you treat, and indeed the book of the film, the original book, the themes focused on loss, love, and the many dangers of life, which you see.
Did it upset you? Did you come out in tears? Were you traumatised?
Matter of fact, I thought
it?
that's the first time I've seen that clip since then, and I thought the clip was much worse. When I've watched the clip back, it's not so bad, but the message is still there. Let's find out from
is that
Ali
message?
Sonia.
So, what is that message? Do you think, Sonia?
You're looking at Ali.
Sorry. I'm looking at my notes.
I think, Ruth, I think is a combination of messages. I love Bambi. Even watching that clip has made me feel emotional, actually, because it's brought it all back to me, and I've watched it since with my own child. There are a number of messages in there. I think, well, as Paul McCartney said, it was actually that scene which alerted him to animal rights abuses, and we all know what happened with the McCartney brand. They took it into a whole new... So that's brilliant. So it's about human entitlement, human cruelty, what we do to animals, loss, grief, how children cope with it. But that story is about so much more than that. But traumatic it certainly is, and I still think children should watch it.
Do you think children should still watch it? Would you show it to your children?
No, I wouldn't. And the reason is, I think that we have moved past that. And I think that if Paul McCartney needed Bambi to make him become against animal cruelty, then seriously, what was Linda saying to him? But, I mean, I think the reality here is that we need to say to ourselves, that was a generation ago. Now it's time to move on. We don't want to have these children who are just going to be dumped often in front of it without support from their parents watching this traumatic scene. And the thing about the Disney films, and this particular film, is that the mother is ripped away and the little deer, Bambi, is meant to fend for itself. Now, of course, this is the overwhelming theme that comes through all the Disney films. But name me one Disney film in which we have a strong maternal mother staying in the film, or that doesn't get killed off, or doesn't just get lost at the beginning of the film. There isn't one. And that sends a negative message to children, and also with fathers as well, that, that often the father isn't there as well. I think we can do it better.
Does it send a positive message to prisoners in the USA who have been slaughtering deer? I
think it's a unique methodology for this particular judge to have done this, because I think it's saying to the person, look at what you're doing, look at what you have done. And I think this judge is saying it's suitable for adults. It's not really suitable for children. And Sultan, when he wrote the book, it wasn't for children, it was for adults. And I think we need to say, you know what, we can actually do better now. We can show our children better stories. And my child, for example, she sees ads on television, and we've talked about animal cruelty, and it's inspired her.
Do you think it opens the conversation?
I certainly do, and I think a child is never too young to learn about empathy towards animals. Look, we only have to look at, psychological case studies. We know for a fact that psychopaths often carry out animal cruelty in childhood, so with children are never too early to start learning.
But why use Bambi?
About...
Why not use something else?
But why not?
We've had
But hold on a second. We've had 70 years of Bambi, and I think, and I'm all for crashing tradition if we need to, but I think this is one tradition that is fantastic, because it's not just about that scene. It's a coming-of-age film. It's about friendship. Hold on, Ali, I listened to you. Hold on a second. It's a coming-of-age film. I even named my rabbit Thumper when I was a child. It impacted me so much. So it's about bonding. It's about friendship.
Yeah.
Actually, it was ahead of its time, because the father, the Prince of the Forest, became a single father to Bambi.
Yeah. No, but he came back and he was the deadbeat.
But you see, Ali, I would have said those messages stayed with me.
It does. It does stay with you. But you're looking at now from an adult perspective. Think about a child, a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, who's watching it, possibly without the parent there or the parent on the internet or something like that, and they see this and they are traumatised by that. We have so much trauma in our modern society.
There are lots of things that can traumatise children.
Exactly.
I mean, we've had a lot of people getting in touch. It's very mixed, actually. Karen Sophie Evans says children should watch Bambi and learn about the hardships of life.
Absolutely.
The same way they should win and lose things. They need to grow up
without the help of Bambi. What is it about people? Why can't they actually parent their children and not rely on everything else and everybody else?
Shirley says, get a grip. It's a children's film. Will the snowman be the next controversy because he melts?
Well,
it's interesting to know, however, that Aladdin was censored, Frozen had parts of it censored, which is a phenomenal hit. And we also had Jessica Rabbit censored. And we don't know that, but these are...
We don't need any more censorship. But the thing is, going back to your issue about parents and Disney, I've actually written about that issue. And the truth is that that's their sort of dramatic impact.
Yes, but it's lazy, though.
Yeah, but if we do that, if we start saying no to Bambi, we're going to get rid of Finding Nemo, Charlotte's Web, anything which has... It is important to teach children
Some of those
lessons.
mightn't be bad ideas, it has to be said. Thank you both very much indeed.
Up with Bambi.
Right, and
You're a Bambi killer.
Happy Christmas, guys. Thank you.